America hero or zero? Let's be honest, folks. America has an image problem. Some people around the world love us. They see the land of opportunity, Hollywood movies, and those delicious artery-clogging burgers. Others, well, not so much. They see a country that throws its weight around, starts wars, and seems to have a bit of a superiority complex. So, which is it? Is America the good guy, or are we the baddies of the planet? Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into this global popularity contest. We all know the classic superhero story. The U.S. often casts itself as the world's protector, swooping in to fight for freedom and justice. But, like any good comic book, there's always another side to the story. Some argue that America's interventions, however well-intentioned, often cause more harm than good. They point to a history littered with military misadventures and foreign policy blunders. From the jungles of Vietnam to the deserts of Iraq, America's military might has left an undeniable mark on the world stage. And while supporters hail these actions as necessary for global security, critics see them as examples of American overreach and imperialism. So, where does that leave us? Is America the hero, the villain, or something messier and more complicated? The truth, as usual, is a bit more nuanced. To really understand how America is perceived globally, we need to take off the rose-tinted glasses and look at the full picture, warts and all. The Vietnam wound, a scar that never fades. Let's rewind the clock back to the 1960s and 70s. Picture this: a Southeast Asian country engulfed in a brutal civil war. Enter the United States, ostensibly there to stop the spread of communism. What started as a noble cause, at least on paper, soon descended into a quagmire of epic proportions. The Vietnam War was a defining moment for America's image abroad. It wasn't just the staggering loss of life, both American and Vietnamese, but also the use of devastating tactics, like Agent Orange. This chemical warfare agent left a legacy of environmental destruction and birth defects that continues to haunt Vietnam today. The war also exposed the limits of American power and the dangers of unchecked military interventionism. It showed the world that even with all its might, the U.S. could be bogged down in a conflict it couldn't win, alienating allies and fueling anti-American sentiment along the way. The Vietnam War wasn't just a military defeat, it was a moral reckoning. It forced Americans to confront uncomfortable truths about their country's role in the world and the human cost of foreign policy decisions. The scars of Vietnam run deep, serving as a cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked military intervention and the importance of understanding the complexities of foreign conflicts. Bombs away, drones, and the question of collateral damage. Fast forward a few decades, and we find ourselves in the era of drone warfare. These unmanned aerial vehicles, armed with missiles and controlled remotely, have become a cornerstone of America's counterterrorism strategy. But their use has also sparked a global debate about accountability, civilian casualties, and the ethics of remote warfare. Proponents argue that drones are precise weapons that minimize collateral damage. They allow the U.S. to target terrorists in remote areas without putting boots on the ground. Critics, however, paint a different picture. They point to the chilling reality of civilian deaths, including women and children, killed in drone strikes. These incidents, they argue, fuel anti-American sentiment and create more enemies than they eliminate. The lack of transparency surrounding drone strikes only adds fuel to the fire. The U.S. government often refuses to acknowledge or provide details about these operations, citing national security concerns. This secrecy makes it difficult to assess the true extent of civilian casualties, or hold those responsible accountable. The use of drones raises profound ethical and legal questions about the nature of warfare in the 21st century. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable reality of remote killing and its impact on innocent lives. As drone technology continues to evolve, these questions will only become more pressing, demanding a serious global conversation about the rules of engagement in an increasingly automated battlefield.